Hogan to deal with possibly the most memorable day of the trip. It was a surreal day, almost like paddling in a virtual reality. The water was just so silky smooth. We started in the dark, some phosphorescence in the water. The GoPro wasn't good enough to film. Met a seal. It was about the only thing to break the, I was going to say monotony, but it wasn't monotonous. It was beautiful. As we got closer to Deal, we got caught in a bit of a light shower of rain.
About 2.5, I think. Oh no, sorry, to the last waypoint. Probably less than that, 1.5.
I'll talk about rounding Erith Island in a minute, but this is after we crossed Murray Pass on our way into Garden Cove, which was to be our home for the next couple of days. There's a lot more about Deal Island in the next episode, but now it's time to review the GPS data and give the promised commentary on our rounding of Erith Island, which turned out to be the hardest part of the whole trip. The curved pink line here is our planned route, and the straight line is the direct path. The idea was that we would be underway by 5 o'clock and paddling more or less on the bearing of the direct route, but the flood tide would initially take us away to the southwest before the ebb tide came in and took us back to just north of the direct route, arriving at the northeast corner of Erith Island just as the flood tide was starting. Well, that was the plan. The reality was that we got away late, and the first hour of paddling in the dark was quite slow at around 4.5 kilometres per hour. While it was still dark, we had a number of quite large, mysterious waves sweep in on us from the side. In hindsight, possibly some sort of rebound action between Hogan Island, Round Island, and the shallow water in between the two. Once we got some daylight, things sped up, and for a large section of the paddle, we averaged 6 kilometres per hour, although we were still about an hour behind schedule. Then, suddenly, things changed. We reached our 11 o'clock waypoint at midday, and when we stopped for our nominal 5-minute snack break, we were drifting north at approximately 1.5 kilometres an hour, so the ebb tide was still running. An hour and a half later, we were still short of the next waypoint, and when we stopped paddling, we were drifting southwest at 3.5 kilometres per hour. The tide had turned. For the next 5 kilometres, we battled against the flood tide and averaged just under 3 kilometres per hour. The zigzags in the track are the times we stopped to brainstorm other options, but there was nothing better than just plugging on. We'd been undecided up to this point on whether to head for the hut on Erith Island or for Garden Cove. Being rather tired by the time we got to the point of Erith Island, we decided not to risk Murray Pass at peak flood tide and opted for Garden Cove. We landed at the eastern end of the beach. Andrew thinks that opposite the creek might have been better, but I'm still not sure. Either way, there is a steep embankment all the way along the beach, and the beach itself is fully submerged at high tide. Except for a gap at the creek, the high water mark is lined with small boulders that continually rumble and crash over each other at high tide. Wherever you camp, you are sure to have some Bennett's wallabies for company.